want you to take a good look. Here's a castle. There's black people wearing armor in the castle, throwing down stones. Here we have white people attacking the castle, trying to take the castle. Pay close attention. This is our history. This is what led into slavery. Let's go down. This is picture, oh, I'm sorry. This is 74 here. Where is it? 74. Take a good look. White people in armor chopping up black people that they conquered. Do y'all see that? This is our history. This is what led us into slavery, the transatlantic slave trade. This predated it. Here's 75 with Aragon leading men against who? Black people in a castle with bows and arrows and armor. Do y'all see that? Pay close attention. This predated slavery. After this came the slave trade. 76, capture of Damietta, Joinville. Okay, let's take a look. Pay close attention. What do you see? White people coming against black people in a castle. We told y'all we were ruling Europe for 1,000 years. Okay. 77, Crusaders fighting Saracens. These are black men. They started lightening their color, but these are black men. These are Caucasians coming against us. Look on the coats of arms. You have black heads. Okay?
Shalom, shalom. Thank y'all for joining us for another edition of the Israelite Perspective. I'm Azra Haya.
Shalom, Yashavala, brother Abataki.
Yeah, come. Yeah, thank y'all for joining us. So y'all see the title. Is Isaiah 14, 1 and 2 already taken place? We're gonna touch on that here in just a second. But before we do that, y'all see the clip that we just played. That's obviously the brother Bishop Nathaniel from IUIC that was going over the pictures in that book that was showing Edomites invading Israelites. Edomites invading Israelites while Israelites are in their castles. So if Israelites were in the castles, that lets you know that this was somewhere in Europe. Right now, I should have looked at what he pointed out right there. That let me go back a little bit on that those shields right there, right? The black head. I've seen that before. I'm trying to remember. That used to be like a flag or something. I've seen that before, and I think it's like a Scottish flag or the Black Irishman flag or something like that. I can't remember. But I remember seeing that somewhere. But yeah, like he just showed, when you tell people that Israelites ruled Europe for 1,000 years, or Israelites was in rulership in Europe at all, period. When you say this, or you say King James was a brother, a black man, people look at you crazy. Like all the Europeans, quote unquote Europeans, or people that were in Europe, all of them was just white folks. They look at us crazy, right? So that was the purpose of playing this clip. You got in this book pictures of black men in castles with white men invading them. So this is in Europe. Okay. All right, let me get this up off here. And we're gonna jump straight off into Isaiah 14 just to get straight to the point. We got a couple other things to touch on, but we're gonna get straight off into this right here. Let me play the clip from and this is the same brother. This is the same brother that had debated he debated the brothers from Genesis, Deacon and Hassad. He debated them, and I think he also debated Tazariak from ISUBK. But listen to what he's saying. This is him on TikTok. This is what he's saying.
For servants and handmaids. Now notice they tell us that the Lord.
He's talking about Isaiah 14. When I started recording this, I caught it. I didn't catch it at the beginning. So right now where he's at is Isaiah 14, and I think verse 2. But he started off in verse 13. Chapter 13, my bad. Chapter 13. But we're going to hear him out, and then we're going to rebuttal. Hold on.
Israel shall possess them in the land of the Lord for servants and handmaids. Now, notice they tell us that the Lord is going to come back and take them back to their land. The Lord is going to take them to their land. So wait a minute. If the Lord is coming to take them to their land, does that mean when he takes them to their land, that the Israelites, while he's taking the Israelites are taking the other nations? Think about it. Because they think this is talking about the future, in the future in the kingdom. They think.
So he said, because of verse, let's get Isaiah 14:2 real quick, King, so we can address that real fast for it.
God. The book of Isaiah, chapter 14, verse 2. And the people shall take them and bring them to their place, and the house of Israel shall possess them in the land. Possess them in the land of the Lord for servants and handmaids.
Matter of fact, I think he's speaking of read verse 1. He just read verse 2, but I think he's speaking of verse 1.
For the Lord will have mercy on Jacob, and will yet choose Israel, and set them in their own land. And the strangers shall be joined with them, and they shall cleave to the house of Jacob.
So stop right there. So it says, the Lord will have mercy on Jacob and will yet choose Israel, that's us, and set them in their own land. So it set us in our own land. There's us being set in our own land. It says, and the strangers shall be joined with them. So there will be strangers that will be joined with us. Why? For a purpose. So he's asking, he's saying, well, will they be taking the strangers with them? Because it says, and the strangers will be joined with them, and they should cleave to the house of Jacob. So he's saying, will they, while the Lord is taking them to the land, will they be taking strangers with them? No. We're going to rule over the earth, right? So it says, once again, because that's one thing about the apologetics and all these Christians, they try to twist scripture because they really don't have no ammunition. They can't base it off of scripture directly for what the scripture is saying. So they got to kind of, you know what I'm saying, twist it or whatever. So it says, for the Lord will have mercy on Jacob and will yet choose Israel and set them in their own land, and the strangers shall be joined with them, and they shall cleave to the house of Jacob. So they're gonna be joined with us because they're gonna come. They're gonna be bringing their taxes. We're gonna go over that. We're gonna touch on all that, but they're gonna be bringing the forces of the Gentiles and all that, right, to us, and they're gonna cleave unto us the same way we're cleaving unto them right now. We gotta go to them for food, clothing, shelter, and so on and so forth, right? So this question that he's asking is crazy, right? But let's keep going.
Isaiah 14 is about the kingdom. So but if their stance is that the Lord is going to put them back in the land, because when you ask one of them why you don't just go over to Israel and just live in Israel right now, and their response is going to be because that's not what we're not supposed to do. The Lord is good. The Lord is going to take us back to Israel. The Lord is going to take us back to Israel. So if he's taking y'all,
he asks, why don't we just go over there right now? Tell that to, we got people amongst us that are impoverished, that can't just get up and just go like that. We got people amongst us that's dependent on the government, dependent on the system, dependent on somebody else taking care of them. We got people amongst us that's in the nursing homes. We got people amongst us that's in prisons, people that's locked up amongst Israel. Our nation can't just pick up and go. Our nation cannot just pick up and go.
Right.
They always say, well, why don't y'all just leave? It ain't that easy. And it was not commanded for us to just up and just leave. We're supposed to be delivered, right? Let's keep going.
Well, these people that you're gonna take to the land, and the people shall take them and bring them to their place. Who? How? So it's gonna be like a chain gang? The Lord takes us and we take them. No, this is talking about when they come out of Babylon. And we continue with.
So his argument is this in Isaiah 14 already happened. And this is when we came out of Babylon, from the Babylonian captivity. This is his argument, right?
Get to verse 3, and it shall come to pass in the.
So he's in Isaiah 14 and verse 3.
Day that the Lord shall give thee rest from thy sorrow and from thy fear and from thy hard bondage, wherein thou wast made to serve. You have to understand, you ain't being made to serve right now. You can pack up like some of these other African Americans did. You can pack up your belongings, go to another country. You can move to Thailand. You know, that's what they're doing. That's the big thing now. The people leaving America, moving, the black people leaving America, moving to Thailand, moving to Taiwan, moving to Africa. They're doing this. So you're not being made to serve right now. You know how many black owned businesses we got right now? Like, it's a lot right now. Right?
And if y'all don't want to work, just say that.
Do you know how many?
Y'all hear these people, man? Y'all hear these people talking about Israelites, bro? He talking about,
man.
He said, we are not being made to serve right now. How are we not being made? Once again, after the Emancipation Proclamation happened, right? And slavery was unlawful. Slavery, quote unquote, was unlawful. They had to find another way to do that. What was the thing that they went to? They went to using the law against us. That's and right. Enslaving our brothers that way, locking them up on trumped up charges and putting them to work. Not only for the judicial system, but they would contract us out to working for local individuals. So we end up still being in slavery, and they're doing that now. That's where he got the word chain gang from. They're doing it now. Brothers getting locked up in prisons and being put out on farms, making license plates. What you mean we're not being made to serve? Even those of us that's free and not locked up, right? You got to go and work for your oppressor.
That's right.
He said, "What is black-owned business? At the end of the day, who you paying taxes to? Your oppressor. Your face ain't on that dollar. You paying taxes to the same people that had your ancestors in slavery. How are we not being made to serve? There's no way around you paying your oppressor. There's no way around it. There's no way around you putting money in your oppressor's pocket. When we were brought over here on slave ships, we worked for free labor. So we was putting money in their pockets with free labor, right? Now, we're still putting money in their pockets. Yes, we're being made to serve, right? Let's keep going.
Lock you out, Warren.
Go ahead, Ken.
I just wanted to say this real quick. I don't know the precept, but it was saying we are yet this day in our captivity.
That's let me see. I can't remember off the top of my head. Let me find it.
I was just making that quote real quick. It wasn't.
No, you good, Ken. You know what I'm saying? Sure.
Because he talking about we ain't made to serve. That's a lie, boy. We are yet this day in our captivity to this day.
Right. That's Baruch.
Oh, that's in Baruch.
Yeah, come Baruch 3 and 8. Baruch 3 and 8. Yeah, I don't know all scriptures off the top of my head, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I don't mind looking them up. I ain't got too much pride. All right, Baruch 3 and 8. It says, "Behold, we are yet this day in our captivity, where thou hast scattered us for a reproach and a curse, and to be subject to payments, according to all the iniquities of our fathers, which departed from the Lord our God." That's a good precept, King. Yeah, we are yet this day in our captivity. Absolutely. And then once again, like the verse says, we're subject to payments.
That's right.
We are subject to payments to the people that forcibly put us to work, kidnapped us and put us to work. And it's idiots like this saying that no, you're not being forced to work. Man, I don't know where you at. Just keep going.
people, how many African Americans is sitting at home getting $7,000, $10,000 a year, and all they do is collect EBT?
Mm-hmm.
All they do is sit at home for the whole year with a baby, with some babies, and get paid $10,000 a year on top of the cash assistance, on top of the food stamps. Every year. They're doing nothing.
A majority of black folks ain't on government assistance.
Majority of white.
It benefit them more than benefit us.
That's right.
Majority of our people ain't on government assistance. Majority. It's especially now. Now that Trump doing what he doing. But even before that, majority of our people was not getting government assistance. Most people that was getting government assistance were their people. It was their people.
They waking up and they waking up at 2 in the evening, 2 in the afternoon, and they partying all night. That ain't no hard bondage. Verse 4. Thou shalt take up this proverb against the king of Babylon. Wait, why are you gonna take up a proverb against the king of Babylon? And say, how hath the oppressor ceased? Who was the oppressor? King Nebuchadnezzar was their oppressor. And his people were their oppressors. How have the golden city ceased? All right, so yeah, that's.
You see, he shut it down after that, right? We're gonna dig off into it to see why. So he's saying that Isaiah 14, 1 and 2 already took place. Like I said, I didn't catch it, I didn't record it when he first started talking about it, but he's saying that this already took place, and it took place when we was coming out of captivity from Nebuchadnezzar. What he's failing to realize is we didn't leave captivity of Babylon right after Nebuchadnezzar, because the Persian and Medes invaded the Babylonians, and we was in captivity to them. Right? So look, this is what he did. He went to Isaiah. Let's go to Isaiah 13. Isaiah 13 and 1.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 13, verse 1. The burden of Babylon, which Isaiah, the son of Amos, did see.
So he pointed out the fact that it's in verse 13, it's talking about Babylon. This is the subject matter, right? To lead up to saying that in chapter 14, it's still talking about Babylon. So it already happened, right? But let's keep reading.
Lift ye up a banner upon the high mountain. Exalt the voice unto them. Shake the hand that they may go into the gates of the nobles.
Mm-hmm.
I have commanded my sanctified ones. I have also called my mighty ones for mine anger, even them that rejoice in my highness.
Mm-hmm.
The noise of a multitude in the mountains, like as of a great people, a tumultuous noise of the kingdoms of nations gathered together. The Lord of hosts mustereth the host of the battle.
So this is the Lord of hosts getting kingdoms together for battle, gathering his people, right? He's saying that this already happened when we left the captivity of Babylon. He's saying this is what this was, right? This already happened. Okay, keep going. According to him, keep going.
Verse 5. They come from a far country, from the end of heaven, even the Lord and the weapons of his indignation to destroy the whole land.
So the Most High is about to destroy the whole land with Nebuchadnezzar. Let's keep reading, King.
God. Howl ye, for the day of the Lord is at hand. It shall come as a destruction from the Almighty.
So it's talking about the day of the Lord. Has the day of the Lord happened yet? No. This is when Yahweh Shah comes back. The day of the Lord is when Yahweh Shah comes back. That's the day of the Lord. So it's talking about the day of the Lord right here in verse 6, right? Can you read?
Therefore shall all hands be faint, and every man's heart shall melt,
mm-hmm.
and they shall be afraid. Pains and sorrows shall take hold of them. They shall be in pain as a woman that travaileth. They shall be amazed one at another. Their faces shall be as flames. Man.
Now this is talking about the day of the Lord. Keep going.
Behold, the day of the Lord cometh, cruel, both with wrath and fierce anger, to lay the land desolate, and he shall destroy the sinners thereof out of it.
So this is us coming out of Babylon. When we came out of Babylon, we got permission from Cyrus to come and rebuild our temple. But the Lord is saying that this is the day of the Lord, and he's going to destroy, and the land's going to be desolate. This ain't adding up. Keep going.
For the stars of heaven and the constellations thereof shall not give their light. The sun shall be darkened in his going forth, and the moon shall not cause her light to shine.
This is the future prophecy. This is the day of the Lord. Keep going.
And I will punish the world for their evil, and the wicked for their iniquity. And I will cause the arrogancy of the proud to cease, and I will lay low the haughtiness of the terrible.
Mm-hmm.
I will make a man more precious than fine gold, even a man that the golden wedge of Ophir.
So check this out, right? And right here in Isaiah 13:12 says, I will make a man more precious than fine gold, even a man than the golden wedge of Ophir. Hold that and go to Zechariah 13:9. So the brother is saying that Isaiah 14 happened because this is us coming out of Babylon. What he did that I wasn't able to record, he went to Isaiah 13:1 and then skipped all the way to Isaiah 13 towards the end. But he didn't read none of this right here. This is obviously talking about the day of the Lord, a future prophecy, something that's going to happen when Christ comes back. All right, so we holding that. Let's get Zechariah 13:8.
The book of Zechariah, chapter 13, verse 8. And it shall come to pass that in the land, saith the Lord, 2 parts therein shall be cut off and die.
Mm-hmm.
But the third shall be left therein.
Uh-huh.
And I will bring the third part through the fire, and I refine them as silver is refined,
mm-hmm.
and will try them as gold is tried.
Mm-hmm.
They shall call on my name, and I will hear them. I will say, it is my people, and they shall say, the Lord is my Yahweh.
So it said that he's gonna try us. He's gonna try us like gold, right? Right here in Isaiah 13:12, it says, I will make a man more precious than fine gold. Why? Because we're going to be tried already, right? We're going to be tried. It says more precious than fine gold. And that also goes off into Isaiah chapter 4. Let me go to Isaiah 4 real quick. I'll read it. Isaiah 4:1. And in that day, 7 women shall take hold of one man, saying, we will eat our own bread and wear our own apparel. Only let us be called by thy name to take away our reproach. It's not literally 7 women. That 7 is a number of completion, but there's going to be multiple women approaching the men of the Lord because the men of the Lord are going to be the ones that they know that the Lord is dealing with. So they said to get it to remove their reproach, they're going to be seeking the men of the Lord, saying, look, just let me be called by your name so I can remove this reproach. That's why it says in Isaiah 13:12, I will make a man more precious than fine gold, even a man than the golden wedge of Ophir. That's why it says that. But this is a future prophecy. This is not when we was in Babylon. This is not when we came out of Babylon, right? But why does it say Babylon? Because it's not talking about that Babylon, right? It's talking about the Babylon we in right now. But let's keep going. Keep reading, King. Verse 13.
Therefore, I will shake the heavens, and the earth shall remove out of her place.
Mm-hmm.
In the wrath of the Lord of hosts, and in the day of his fierce anger.
Mm-hmm.
And it shall be as a chaste roe, and as a sheep.
You right, chase roe, like a roe is a deer, a chase roe.
Kind of chase roe, Slakia. And as a sheep that no man taketh up, they shall every man turn to his own people, and flee every one into his own land.
Every man is going to turn to his own people, and everyone's going to flee to their own land. This is a future prophecy. This ain't happened yet. Keep going.
Everyone that is found shall be thrust through.
Everybody that's still trying to hold on to their oppressors, and I love God. God gonna save the heathens. God's gonna save everybody else too. It's not just about Israel. It says what? Read it again.
Everyone that is found shall be thrust through.
Thrust through, for those that don't know, is a sword, a spear, or something going through your body. It said everyone that is found shall be thrust through.
And everyone that is joined unto them shall fall by the sword.
If you can't let go of your oppressor, it says that you're gonna fall by the sword. Why is that a thing? Because if these people, which are non-Israelites, matter of fact, let's go to Psalms. What is it? Let me see. Go to Psalms 83 real quick. Hold that. Go to Psalms 83 real quick. These people, non-Israelites, are considered enemies of God.
That's right.
They are considered, according to Scripture. This is not my words. This is the Bible. This is biblical. All right. These are enemies of God. Okay. Go to Psalms 83, and you can start at verse 1, but then we're gonna skip to the verse we need.
The book of Psalms, chapter 83, verse 1. Keep not thou silence, O Yahweh. Hold not thy peace, and be not still, O Yahweh. For lo, thy enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head.
The people that hate the Most High have lifted up the head, right? So hold on. Verse 2 says, for lo, thine enemies. The Most High has enemies. For the people that don't know, the Most High has enemies. Thine enemies. You see, these are not my words. These are the words of the Lord. This is verse 2. For lo, thine enemies make a tumult. God's enemies make a tumult. Right? Keep going.
They have taken crafty counsel against thy people, and consulted against thy hidden ones.
Skip to verse. So it's talking about God's enemies have took counsel against his people, plot against his people. So skip down to verse 6.
The tabernacles of Edom, and the Ishmaelites of Moab, and the Hagarites. Hagarites. Jabal, Ammon, and Amalek, and the Philistines with the inhabitants of Tyre.
You can stop right there. It goes on to name multiple nations.
That's a hit list.
They are enemies of the Most High. So these are not my words. This is biblical. This is what's in the Bible. Okay. Now go to Psalms 139 and verse 19. Excuse me. Psalms 139 and verse 19.
The book of Psalms, chapter 139, verse 19. Surely thou wilt slay the wicked, O Yahweh. Depart from me, therefore, ye bloody men. For they speak against thee wickedly.
So
and thy enemies,
the wicked speak against the Most High wickedly. The wicked speak against the Most High wickedly. Keep going.
And thy enemies take thy name in vain.
God's enemies, once again, take his name in vain. Keep going.
Do not I hate them, O Lord, that hate thee?
Don't I hate them that hate you? Keep going.
And am not I grieved with those that rise up against thee? I hate them with a perfect hatred. I count them mine enemies.
So he's saying this, the people that are enemies of God, he count them his enemies. Right? So this is not my words. These are the words of David. He says, aren't they my enemies? I have a perfect hatred towards your enemies, who are my enemies. Right? So let's go back to Isaiah. Go back to Isaiah 13. So that's the reason why it says, everyone that is found shall be thrust through, and everyone that is joined unto them shall fall by the sword. Because what would that be if it's nation against nation and you are attached to another nation? That would be considered treason, basically. Right? The most Most High sent Yahushua to bring destruction on these nations, and you hold on to them because you in love with them, while Yahushua trying to bring judgment on them. So that would be considered treason. The same way when the Most High told Lot and his wife and his children to take off and don't turn around and look, and his wife couldn't help herself because she was still holding on to that city. She turned around and he made her into a pillar of salt. Same thing.
Thrust through.
Same thing. She got thrust through. Right? Start at verse 16, King.
Their children also shall be dashed to pieces before their eyes. Their houses shall be spoiled and their wives ravished.
This is what's going to happen in the future. This hasn't happened already. That's why you got to watch. And I'm bringing this out so that y'all will, if y'all encounter the same thing, that's why I bring these things out. So that if y'all encounter the same things, you'll already know what to say. You'll already know what to go to. This didn't already happen. This Babylon is speaking of is not the Babylon when we left with Nebuchadnezzar and all that. This is talking about the daughter of Babylon. This is talking about where we at right now. This is a future prophecy. So I'm breaking this down so that y'all will already know what to say. If somebody, because they're gonna bring it to you. Anybody that knows anything about the Hebrew Israelites and they trying their best to debunk our doctrine, they're gonna bring this to you if you bring this up. Right? Keep reading, King.
Verse 17. Behold, I will stir up the Medes against them, which shall not regard silver, and as for gold, they shall not delight in it.
Now, this verse right here, I think this is the verse where he picked up at. He read chapter 13, verse 1, then he jumped. I think he jumped to verse 17 because it says, behold, I will stir up the Medes. The Persia and Medes invaded Babylon. When we was in Babylon in captivity, they invaded Babylon and took over Babylon. And that's how Cyrus ended up being the king. Cyrus, the one that let us come back to our land and build our temple. So someone would read this and say, so it is talking about back then. No, it's not. We just read so much that's talking about future prophecy. So why is it talking about Medes? Because the Most High, this is spiritual. The Most High already knew it was the Medes, Persian Medes, actually, Persian Medes that basically conquered the Babylonians. It was the Persian Medes that conquered the Babylonians. So he's saying, behold, I will stir up the Medes against them, which shall not regard the silver, and as for gold, they shall not delight in it. The same way America's called Babylon, which this ain't Babylon, but it's spiritually called Babylon. He's talking about, hey, look, I'll stir up the Medes, because he already knew the Medes were the ones that actually conquered the real Babylon, right? Keep reading, King.
God.
And it's gonna show us that this is future. This is not past. Keep going.
Their bows also shall dash the young men to pieces, and they shall have no pity on the fruit of the womb. Their eyes shall not spare children. And Babylon, the glory of kingdoms, the beauty of the Chaldees' excellency, shall be as Yahweh overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah.
But not the Philistines, the Persian and Medes conquered Babylon. Babylon didn't get destroyed. The Persian Medes conquered Babylon and took over Babylon. Right? Keep reading, King.
It shall never be inhabited, neither shall it dwell in from generation to generation.
So in verse 19, it says, in Babylon, the glory of kingdoms, the beauty of the Chaldees' excellency shall be as when God overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah. What happened with Sodom and Gomorrah? Fire came down from heaven. Fire and brimstone came down from heaven. That's what's going to happen to America, the daughter of Babylon, spiritual Babylon. So it's telling you that this Babylon that it's speaking of is modern day Babylon. It says, once again, it says, in Babylon, the glory of kingdoms, the beauty of Chaldees' excellency shall be as when God overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah. It's going to be just like that. Fire's going to come down from heaven, meaning missiles, rockets, so on and so forth. Right? Read verse 20, King.
It shall never be inhabited, neither shall it be dwelt in from generation to generation. Neither shall the Arabian pitch tent there, neither shall the shepherds make their fold there.
So America is not going to be inhabited. America is going to be destroyed and not going to be inhabited. It should never be inhabited. Neither shall it be dwelt in from generation to generation. Neither shall the Arabian pitch tent there. Neither shall the shepherds make their fold there. We know that's not talking about the Babylon back then, because there's still people there. It's not talking about that Babylon, right? Read verse 21.
But wild beasts of the desert shall lie there, and their houses shall be full of doleful creatures, and owls shall dwell there, and satyrs shall dance there.
Keep going.
And the wild beasts of the island shall cry in their desolate houses, and the dragons in their pleasant palaces, and her time is near to come, and her days shall not be prolonged. Shalakia.
Right. All right. Let's go to next chapter.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 14, verse 1. For the Lord will have mercy on Jacob, and will yet choose Israel, and set them in their own land. And the strangers shall be joined with them, and they shall cleave to the house of Jacob.
Mm-hmm.
And the people shall take them and bring them to their place. And the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of the Lord for servants and handmaids. And they shall take them captives, whose captives they were, and they shall rule over their oppressors.
So it says, verse 1, for the Lord will have mercy on Jacob and will yet choose Israel and set them in their own land. And the strangers shall be joined with them, and they shall cleave to the house of Jacob. Let's go to Isaiah 60 and see how they're going to be cleaving. Isaiah 60 and 10. And they shall cleave to the house of Jacob.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 60, verse 10. And the sons of strangers shall build up thy walls, and their kings shall minister unto thee. For in my wrath I smote thee, but in my favor have I had mercy on thee.
So the sons of strangers shall build up our walls. They're going to be put to work. This is synonymous with what it's saying in Isaiah 14. They're going to be servants and handmaids. Keep reading.
Therefore thy gates shall be opened continually. They shall not be shut day or night, that men may bring unto thee the forces of the Gentiles, and that their kings may be brought.
The forces of the Gentiles is the Gentiles paying taxes. That's them bringing gold and silver and all that. That's them paying taxes. Keep reading.
For the nation and kingdom that will not serve thee shall perish. Yea, those nations shall be utterly wasted.
This is when we're in our land. Those kingdoms are going to be utterly wasted that don't serve us. What is it saying in Isaiah 14 and 1 and 2? For the Lord will have mercy on Jacob and will yet choose Israel and set them in their own land. And the strangers shall be joined with them, and they shall cleave to the house of Jacob, and the people shall take them and bring them to their place. And the house of Israel shall possess them, own them in the land of the Lord for servants and handmaids. Going back to Isaiah 61, 60 and 12. For the nation and kingdom that will not serve thee shall perish. Those nations shall be utterly wasted. This is the future prophecy. This is the same time frame. This is synonymous with what it's saying in both chapters, right? It says, for servants and handmaids, chapter Isaiah 14, it says, for servants and handmaids, and they should take them captives, whose captives they were, and they should rule over their oppressors. You know how you know that this is not talking about Babylon back then? Let's go to Nehemiah.
Somebody thought that word Nehemiah was called Nehemiah.
That for real. Hey, that was a mighty brother, man. That was a mighty brother.
Yes, he was, boy. Slap fire at you.
Is that what?
You slap fire at you.
I'm trying to
put
tell
hands on
you. All right, so look, let's go to Nehemiah 13. So they said that when we came out of Babylon, with servants and handmaids and all these heathens with us, right? Go to Nehemiah 13. Let's see. We're gonna go to verse. Let's see. Let's see. Verse. Let's see. Sorry. Let's see. Trying to see. You can go to verse 23. Matter of fact, no, not 23. Go to verse. My fault. Trying to see, because this whole chapter talk about it, but I'm trying to get straight to it.
Mm-hmm.
Or a good verse to get straight to it. All right, go to 23.
The book of Nehemiah, chapter 13, verse 23. In those days also saw I Jews that had married wives of Ashdod, of Ammon and Moab, Shlakia. And their children spake half in the speech of Ashdod, and could not speak in the Jews' language, but according to the language of each people. And I contended with them, and cursed them, and smote certain of them, and plucked off their hair, and made them swear to Yahweh, saying, Ye shall not give your daughters unto their sons, nor take their daughters unto your sons, or for yourselves. Did not Solomon, king of Israel, sin by these things? Yet among many nations was there no king like him, who was beloved of his Yahweh, and Yahweh made him king over all Israel. Nevertheless, even him did outlandish women cause to sin. Shall we then hearken unto you to do all this great evil, to transgress against our Yahweh in marrying strange wives?
And so you're talking about the strange wives. Keep going.
And one of the sons of Joiada, the son of Elishibib, how you say that?
Let me see where you at.
Verse 28. Eliashib, the high priest.
Eliashib,
Shalakia. The high priest was the son-in-law to Sanballat, the Hamorite.
Sanballat the Horonite.
The Horonite, Shalakia.
No,
therefore I chased him from me. Chased him from me, Shalakia. Remember them, O my Yahweh, because they have defiled the priesthood and the covenant of the priesthood and of the Levites.
So they ultimately what they saying is what ended up happening is, because I'm trying to find it's another verse, might be in Ezra, where they actually had got rid of the children and the wives of the other nations, of the Babylonians and the Persian Medes. They got rid of the wives and children that they had, right? Because of all the iniquity. Nehemiah was not playing that. He like, look, we not even finna have the strange wives or even the children that you had with strange wives here, let alone these other heathens. So what the point is, they talking about we brought heathens with us out of Babylon, out of that captivity. I was trying to find a good precept for that. I was trying to find a good precept. Let me see. I'll go to Ezra. Go to Ezra 9:3. Ezra 9:3. The book before that.
The book of Ezra, chapter 9, verse 3. And when I heard this thing, I rent my garment and my mantle.
My bad. Ezra 10:3. Slakia.
The book of Ezra, chapter 10, verse 3. Now therefore let us make a covenant with our Yahweh, to put away all the wives, and such as are born of them according to the counsel of my Lord, and of those that tremble at the commandment of our Yahweh, and let it be done according to the law.
They got rid of the strange wives and the children that they had with strange wives.
Mm.
And this brother talking about we came out of Babylon with heathens with us. That don't make no sense. They got rid of their own children that they had with strange wives. Come on now, bro. Right? Let's go back to Isaiah 14 and read verse 3.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 14, verse 3. And it shall come to pass in the day of the Lord shall give thee rest from thy sorrow and from thy fear and from the hard bondage wherein thou wast made to serve.
Mm-hmm.
That thou shalt take up this proverb against the king of Babylon and say, how hath the oppressor ceased? The golden city ceased. The Lord hath broken the staff of the wicked, and the scepter of the ruler, Shlakia.
He's saying that this is Nebuchadnezzar. Babylon was conquered by the Persian Medes. He's saying that this was Nebuchadnezzar it's talking about in verse 4. That's not Nebuchadnezzar, silly. Right? Too busy trying to prove that the Israelites won't rule. And basically justice is going to be served to the point where he got the lie. This is not Nebuchadnezzar. We left with when Cyrus was reigning. Cyrus the one that gave the decree to let us come back and build our temple. King of Persia. Right? So this is talking about Babylon now. This is right now in this Babylon, the daughter of Babylon, spiritual Babylon. Keep reading, King. And this is why he stopped too. This is why he stopped too. With the same way he touched on Isaiah 13:1, and then skipped down to verse 17. He didn't read under that because it's obvious that that's future, right? He read 17, right? And I think he read maybe like 2 or 3 verses and skipped down to 14:1, and he read down to verse 4, right? But let's keep reading. Verse 5.
God. The Lord hath broken the staff of the wicked and the scepter of the rulers. He who smote the people in the wrath with the continual stroke, he that ruled the nations in anger is persecuted and none hindereth. The whole earth.
Verse 4 says that thou shalt take up this proverb against the king of Babylon and say, how hath the oppressor ceased, the golden city ceased? The Lord had broken, verse 5, the Lord had broken the staff of the wicked and scepter of the rulers. Still talking about the same Babylon, right? Keep going. Verse 7.
The whole earth is at rest and is quiet. They break forth into singing.
The whole earth has never been at rest and is quiet. This is future. The whole earth ain't never been at rest and quiet. Right? Go to Proverbs 29:2, King. The whole earth ain't never been at rest and quiet because the earth was given into the hands of the wicked. So it's always going to be turmoil going on as long as the wicked is ruling. Right? When is it going to be peace on earth? When is that going to take place? When we are in rulership. This verse is going to bring it out.
The book of Proverbs, chapter 29, verse 2. When the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. But when the wicked bear rule, the people mourn.
When the righteous are in authority, us Israelites, the people rejoice. So in verse 7, the whole earth is at rest and is quiet. They break forth into singing. That's because we are going to be in rulership after this Babylon is destroyed. Right? Keep reading, King. Verse 8.
Yea, the fir trees rejoice at thee, and the cedars of Lebanon saying, since thou art laid down, no feller is come up against us.
Mm-hmm.
Hell from beneath is moved from thee to meet thee at thy company.
Meet thee at thy coming.
Coming, Shlakia. It stirreth up the dead for thee, even all the chief ones of the earth. It hath raised up from their thrones all the kings of the nations. All they shall speak, and some and say unto thee, art thou also become weak as we? Thou art become like unto us.
So it's saying Babylon is the other nations are going to say in verse 10, all they shall speak and say unto thee, art thou also become weak as we? Art thou become like unto us? Meaning you got brought down. Babylon's going to get brought down. All right. Keep reading.
Thy pomp is brought down to the grave, and the noise of thy vows. The worm is spread under thee, and the worms cover thee. How art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning?
Oh, who?
O Lucifer, son of the morning.
And that's another thing. This is the only place in the Bible you see Lucifer. Right here. That's the only place in the Bible you see Lucifer. Lucifer is not the man with the red horns, the spiritual devil. That's not who Lucifer is. That's not who that's talking about. Right? Lucifer is not his name. Christianity, they take and they'll say, well, yeah, his name was Lucifer when he was up in heaven with God before he got cast out. They say all type of stuff, but this is basically similar to calling someone the devil. Yahushua called Peter the devil, Satan, actually. He called Peter Satan, and Peter was a disciple because Peter didn't want him to be crucified. He said, hold on, get thee behind me, Satan. You know what I'm saying? You trying to stop what my father preordained to happen, right? So Lucifer is not the name of the devil. People need to stop that, all right? So it says, how art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning? This is talking about Edomites right here. This is talking about Edomites. This ain't talking about Nebuchadnezzar. Right? Keep reading verse 12, okay?
God, how art thou cut down to the ground, which didst weaken the nations?
Which didst weaken the nations. Right? Keep going.
For thou hast said in thy heart, I will ascend into heaven. I will exalt my throne above the stars of Yahweh. I will sit alone also upon the mount of the congregation in the sides of the north.
That's not Nebuchadnezzar. When Nebuchadnezzar got beside himself, the Most High humbled him by sending him out into the wilderness, and he was like an animal eating grass and stuff. This is not Nebuchadnezzar. Okay? This is talking about America. This is talking about the Edomites. It says, what? For thou hast said in thy heart, I will ascend into heaven. I will exalt my throne above the stars of God. The stars of God is who? The Israelites. I will exalt my throne above the stars of God. I will sit also upon the mount of the congregation in the sides of the north. Where are we at? North America. Right? Keep reading, King.
I will ascend above the heights of the clouds. I will be like the Most High.
Uh-huh.
Yet thou shalt be brought down to hell, to the sides of the pit.
Christians read this and think this is describing when Satan got kicked out of heaven. Satan never got kicked out of heaven. For their information, Satan's never been kicked out of heaven. People read this and say this is talking about the devil being kicked out of heaven because it said Lucifer, and it sounds like the devil getting. It sounds like it, but that's not it. So read that verse again. What you just read, we're gonna prove it.
Yet thou shalt be brought down to hell, to the sides of the pit.
Uh-huh.
They that see thee shall narrowly look upon thee.
They that see thee. They that see thee shall narrowly look upon thee. Uh-huh.
And consider thee, saying, is this the man that made the earth to tremble, that did shake the kingdoms?
Is this the man? Is this the man? This is not the man with, this is not spiritual Satan with pitchfork. This is a man. This is people that see them. It says, they that see thee shall say, is this the man? This is a human. This is talking about the people of modern day Babylon. It's talking about America. It says, they that see thee shall narrowly look upon thee and consider thee, saying, is this the man that made the earth to tremble and did shake kingdoms? America shook kingdoms with the atomic bomb. put fear in their hearts. America shook kingdoms. It's not Nebuchadnezzar. Nebuchadnezzar got shook. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure he had some people shook in his prime when Babylon was on top before they got invaded by the Persian Medes, right? But this is talking about America, right? Keep reading, King.
Verse 17. That made the world as a wilderness and destroyed the cities thereof, that opened not the house of his prisoners. All the kings of
keep going.
All the kings of the nations, even all of them, lie in glory, every one in his own house.
Mm-hmm.
But thou art cast out of thy grave like an abominable branch, and as the remnant of those that are slain, thrust through with the sword, that go down to the stones of the pit, as a carcass trodden underfoot.
So you stop right there. You can stop right there. Ultimately, this is going to show. Ultimately, what we're showing you is this is future prophecy. This hasn't happened yet. Okay. Going back to Isaiah 13 in verse 13 and 12, I will make a man more precious than fine gold, even a man than the golden wedge of Ophir. That hasn't happened yet. Let's see a verse, Isaiah 13 and verse 14, and it shall be as a chased roe and as a sheep that no man taketh up. They shall every man turn to his own people and flee everyone to his own land. That hasn't happened yet. Then the next verse, everyone that is found should be thrust through, and everyone that is joined unto them shall fall by the sword. That hasn't happened yet. Right? When we came out of Babylon, verse 16 says, their children also shall be dashed to pieces before their eyes, their houses shall be spoiled, and their wives ravished. When we came out of Babylon, we didn't do none of that. We was gracious that Cyrus let us come and build our temple. We wasn't fighting back. We wasn't fighting and dashing children to pieces. We was happy to come back home. That's why Nehemiah wasn't playing the radio with them like, look, we not going back into captivity. Y'all better stop buying stuff on the Sabbath. Get rid of them wives, them strange wives, and them children you had with them. Nehemiah wasn't playing the radio with them. We wasn't doing no fighting. This is future prophecy. These apologetics don't know what they talking about. Okay, let me get this brother off the screen real quick. You got anything, King, before we go on to the next topic?
Nah.
So Isaiah 14 hasn't happened yet. It hasn't happened yet. All right, here go another brother.
Like can answer this question for me. Let's think about this logically. Now, if we really look at it, if slavery, Jim Crow, KKK, all the different things that happen to black people, let's say it happened to Asian people, okay? Let's just say that as an example, that slavery happened to Asian people. Would there be Hebrew Israelites? Would there be 5%ers? Would there be Nation of Islam? Would there be all these other religions that are within the, some religions, the majority of them are cults in the black community? If slavery never happened to black people, Hebrew Israelites would not have any type of foundation. It would just be quicksand, and which it is quicksand because the only basis of why the Hebrew Israelites believe what they believe and do what they do is because of slavery. So if slavery never would have
happened. Oh, man.
Do you have an answer for his question, King?
Hey, two jabs. Jacob. No, I'm just kidding. No, I don't got nothing for that, man. I don't got nothing for that.
Okay, it's all good. It's all good. I'm about to pull this up real quick. So he basically saying if slavery never happened, would there be Hebrew Israelites?
Of course it would. What are you talking about, man?
Right.
Total madness, man.
Right. Oh, let me see something. Let me see. Hold up. So let me see. Okay, let me share my screen real quick. Let me share my screen. So if we was never taken into captivity, would there be Israelites? Well, let's see something real quick. Why is it? Okay, there we go. All right. Let's see. So this is a 1747 map of Africa. I'm sure most of y'all have already seen this, but those that haven't, check this out. So I wonder if I can. There we go. So this is a 1747 map of Africa, right? This is the west coast of Africa. See, it says Negro land right there, right? You see that, right? This is a 1747 map of Africa. Okay, now you see right here where it says Gold Coast, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then to the right of it, it says Slave Coast, right? You see that, King, right?
Uh-huh.
All right. All right. You can see my my cursor?
Yeah.
All right, so it says Slave Coast right there. And I mean, I'm sure most of y'all already know, but for those that don't, it says Kingdom of Judah. Okay. Or Weda. Weda was another way of saying Judah in the Slave Coast. Okay. So if we would have never been taken as slaves, we would have already knew that we was Judah. We would have known who we were. Our identity wouldn't have been stripped from us. Does that make sense, King?
Yeah.
Our identity wouldn't have been stripped from us because we would have known who we were. We wouldn't have to prove that we Israelites. Okay. So his question is stupid.
Absolutely.
That's a dumb question. Would there still be Israelites? Absolutely, because our nationality wouldn't have been stripped from us.
My question to him would be, who do he think we are then?
Black.
Yeah, African American.
All right. There go another brother. See what he said.
Like question of the day.
You hear?
Say that the Israelites are black, just like the Hamites.
Yeah, I got
That's
it.
the reason why the Israelites were able to hide in Egypt with the Hamites all throughout the Bible. So if Israelites and Hamites are both black and they look so similar, how do we know that you're not just a Hamite who thinks he's a Hebrew Israelite? The Hamites were also included in the transatlantic slave trade. And if, as you say, blacks are being oppressed in America, blacks include Hamites and Israelites. So how can we tell the difference? You haven't gotten the DNA test. For all we know, you're just a Hamite who believes in Jesus. The chat is open for discussion. God bless y'all.
Oh, it's a straight precept for that one. It's a distinguished. He put a difference between us.
What you got, Ken?
I don't know the precept, but you know, I don't know the. He made sure he made a difference between us. He put a difference between us.
Yeah, well,
what's my Bible dictionary?
Physically, our appearance.
Oh yeah.
Our appearance isn't necessarily the difference. The difference is, go to John 10 and 27. Our appearance, because Paul was mistaken as an Egyptian. You see what I'm saying? Moses was mistaken as an Egyptian. So our appearance isn't necessarily the difference, but what is different is what's inside. All right, bring out what you got, Ken.
The book of John, chapter 10, verse 27. My sheep hear my voice, and I know them, and they follow me.
He says, my sheep hear my voice, and I know them, and they follow me. Israelites gonna hear this word, and we gonna follow suit. We're gonna hear this word, and we gonna take heed to the word. Israelites will. I'm sure there might have been a couple of Hamites that might have got put on ships as well as Israelites, with Israelites, right? But the spirit of the Hamites is not finna bear witness to the scriptures, right? When you keep on reading when you get back. So the Israelites, go ahead, Ken.
Go ahead. Okay, Shalak. Verse 28. And I give unto them eternal life, and they shall never perish, neither shall any man pluck them out of my hand.
So it says, neither shall any man pluck them out of my hand. You can send us into captivity. You can send us to the other side of the world. If we are spiritually Israelite, because all Israel ain't Israel. You got bloodline descendants of Jacob that will not be saved. 2/3 will not be saved because it wasn't meant for them to be saved. Spiritually, they are not an Israelite, but physically they are. Right? Only 1/3 of the natural born Israelites will make it to the kingdom, the elect. Right? Go ahead, Ken.
Can I read a portion of Ham in the Compact Bible Dictionary on page 213?
Do you think?
Okay, this is just a small thing about Ham. The youngest son of Noah, born probably about 96 years before the flood, and one of the 8 persons to live through the flood. He became the progenitor of the dark races, not the Negroes. That's basically what all I really wanted to bring out, because we are considered Negroes here in America and all over the world, but he is not our forefather. He was a progenitor of the dark races, but not the Negro. I'm going to read the rest of it. But the Egyptians, the Ethiopians, the Libyans, and the Canaanites, those are all African nations, not the Negro, brothers and sisters.
Right.
I yield.
Right. Basically putting the difference between us and the Hamites. We come from Shem, they come from Ham. That's why they call Hamites. Right? Go to Romans 8:16, King. So we are not the same people. Now, even in that map that we just showed, you seen where it said Negro land. That's because when we fled from our land in 70 AD, we settled on the west coast of Africa. So that's why they call us Negroes. That's why it said Negro land, because that's where the Israelites are. Hamites are not called Negroes. Israelites are. Right? Read what you got, King.
What's that?
Romans 8:16.
God. The book of Romans, chapter 8, verse 16. The Spirit itself beareth witness with our spirit that we are the children of Yahweh.
Your spirit, the Spirit of the Lord is going to bear witness with your spirit that you're an Israelite. You don't have to. Matter of fact, go to 1 Timothy 4 and I think 12. 1 Timothy 4 and 12. I think that's it. No, it's not 12. I know it's 4. Let me see. What is? Let me see. Hold on.
You still doing the difference between Negroes and Hamite?
No.
Okay.
No, it's Titus 3:9. I get first Timothy. Titus 3:9. No, but see, you got it's like this. This whole walk is by faith. Even though shalom, elder, even though we can
Shalom
line ourselves up with what it says in Deuteronomy 28, we can identify with the curses. We can identify ourselves with what's going on in this Bible. At the end of the day, this is by faith. Just like he said, how you know you ain't a Hamite? At the end of the day, physically, you won't be able to tell that you're a Hamite or not a Hamite physically, because a lot of them do look like us. A lot of us look like them. But your spirit's going to bear witness with the Spirit of the Lord. Right? Read what you got, King.
The book of Titus, chapter 3, verse 9. Is that the one?
Yeah, Con.
But avoid foolish questions and genealogies and contentions and strivings about the law.
Avoid foolish questions and genealogies. That's a stupid question about genealogy. Well, how you know back? How are we gonna know what took place? Who got on the boat? Like, I'm talking about each individual. I don't even know who my ancestors. Most of us don't even know who our ancestors was that got on the ship. That's a foolish question. You would tire yourself out trying to figure out who your ancestors was going back that far. That's why that's a foolish question, because they'll say, well, it says, y'all saying that you got to, you know what I'm saying, go back to your heritage, but it says foolish questions about genealogy. It said foolish questions about genealogy. Read it again, King.
But avoid foolish questions and genealogies and contention.
You keep reading.
But avoid foolish questions and genealogies and contentions and strivings about the law, for they are unprofitable and vain.
Foolish questions and genealogies, right? It's foolish for you to even be thinking about who your aunt, trying to figure out, go back far. I can only go back maybe 3 or 4 generations, right? But am I going to stop my walk because I can't? Somebody say, well, it's a possibility that the slave master probably raped your mother. You know what I'm saying? All this and that, your grandmother, great grandmother, and all that. I'm not concerned with that. My spirit bear witness with these scriptures. That's all you need to be concerned with, right? You identify with these curses, right? You identify with these curses. You identify with the people that are oppressed. At the end of the day, if your spirit bear witness with these scriptures, that's all that matters. Ain't nothing else to be talked about. I ain't got to prove to you who my ancestor was that got on the ship, if there was a Hamite or a Shemite, because these curses only apply to Israelites. And my spirit bear witness. See, when you get to talk now, when you get to talking to people about what's to come, you get to telling people that the Israelites are going to be in rulership. If that bothers them, they can't be Israelite. They're not an Israelite. If that bothers them, the Israelites are going to get their just due. They're not an Israelite spiritually. They're not. They could be physically an Israelite, but spiritually they're not an Israelite. That's like when we're on the streets. I don't tell people who they are when we're on the streets. I let them tell me who they are. When I tell them that Israelites are going to get justice, we're going to be in rulership, I tell them that the heathens got to serve and they're going to get paid back for everything they did to us. If they don't like that, they typically will turn around and say, well, I'm a heathen. I'm an Edomite. I'm a Hamite. Yada, yada, yada. Thou sayest. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, your spirit got to bear witness. Your spirit has to bear witness with these scriptures, because you could be physically Israelite, but spiritually you're not. Go to Romans 9, King. Romans 9 and verse 6. Spiritually, you could be an Israelite, and this ain't talking about heathens, talking about I can be spiritual Israel. No. You got the first and foremost, the prerequisite is being a bloodline descendant of Jacob off rip. Being a bloodline descendant of Jacob from the jump. Right? Read what you got, King.
The book of Romans, chapter 9, verse 6. Not as though the word of Yahweh have taken none effect, for they are not all Israel, which are of Israel.
That's what I'm saying. They are not all Israel that are of Israel. Meaning, of Israel, of the nation of Israel, they are not all of them ain't Israel spiritually. Meaning your spirit got to bear witness with these scriptures. Because I'm sure most of y'all, your family, you might be in the truth, but probably all your family ain't. That's how it is with me. Ain't nobody in my family in the truth. It's just me. Nobody else in my family in the truth. Just me. So all of them Israelites, right? But does they spirit bear witness with the scriptures? No. That's what it's talking about, right? So Christians will use that and say, well, saying that they're saying that, you know, just because you're an Israelite, that don't matter. It does matter. Go up to verse 5.
Whose are the fathers, and of whom is concerned as concerning the flesh, Christ came.
Read verse 4.
The book of Romans, chapter 9, verse 4. Who are Israelites?
Who is it talking about? Israelites. Who are Israelites, to whom pertaineth the adoption
and the glory, and the covenants, and the giving of the law, and the service of Yahweh, and the promises. Whose are the fathers, and of whom as concerning the flesh, Christ came.
And of whom is concerning the flesh, Christ came. Christ came for natural born Israelites in the flesh. Then it goes into the next verse. Not as though the word of God had taken none effect, for they are not all Israel which are of Israel. So Christ came for natural born Israelites, but amongst all those Israelites, some of them are not Israelites spiritually. Some of them are not meant for salvation. Some of them are meant for destruction. 2/3 are meant for destruction. That's what that's talking about. Okay. You got anything, King?
Lie.
All right, Con. All right. We're gonna touch on this real quick.
Yeah.
The man barely got to the door. The man barely got to the door. They jumped out on him.
Like a Unabomber.
Nah, that's ICE jumping out on Northern Kingdom. Issachar.
Yeah.
So yeah, so this was going on now. They snatching our people up, right? But
they catch them at a Home Depot trying to work with.
That was Lowe's. That was Lowe's. Go another clip.
Yeah, I'm on the.
We got one more. So that's what's going on right now. A lot of people are saying, well, a lot of Hispanics are saying, why don't the blacks join with us, right? A lot of blacks are saying, well, no, we're gonna sit this one out, right? And as Israelites, we saying those are still our brothers and sisters, right? But there's a catch. When put it like this, when we be teaching, right, and we talk about how brothers and sisters of the quote unquote black community or Judah or whatever, how we be going off and we be messing up. You know, we criticize our brothers, we criticize our sisters. Our brothers need to get their act together. And I've said this before numerous times, that when our brothers, and this is all of Israel, not just Judah, but when our brothers get their act together, the sisters will follow suit. Our brothers need to get their act together.
That's right.
Right. And so I criticize our brothers, Israel, teachers in Israel, criticize our brethren, and we criticize our sisters as well. Okay. And in a lot of cases, I say in a lot of cases, we're talking, we criticize the Southern Kingdom a lot because most of us are of the Southern Kingdom, meaning Judah, meaning blacks. So we criticize Southern Kingdom a lot for the things that they do. But when it comes to Northern Kingdom, meaning the Hispanics, the Native Americans and Hispanics, the brothers and sisters that say we gonna sit this one out and we're not gonna stand with them, I don't blame them for how they feel, because their point is that Northern Kingdom is racist towards us.
That's
and
true.
they are. A large portion of them is racist towards us, right? So what I'm saying is, just like we point the finger at our brothers and sisters in the Southern Kingdom to get their act together, and it's our fault for this, as our fault for that, yada yada yada. Yes, we have to hold ourselves accountable, just like we got to hold Issachar, Northern Kingdom, accountable. You have to be held accountable first before you're forgiven. Us as Israelites, we got to understand that these are brothers and sisters, but they do have to come to repentance. And those that do come to repentance, they understand what their flaws were, and they repent and they correct it. So yes, just like there's some of our people, the Southern Kingdom, the blacks, that's out doing stuff that they ain't got no business doing, and we got to check them, and they got to hold themselves accountable and repent, and then come back. You know what? I messed up. It's the same way the Northern Kingdom got to hold themselves accountable and say, yes, we was racist. Yes, I do understand that y'all don't want to stand with us because we've been racist towards y'all, because they have. They have. I'm not gonna sit here and act like they haven't, just because I know this is my people. They just like we are. Our people are flawed in the Southern Kingdom. They're flawed as well in Northern Kingdom. Our people in Southern Kingdom be messing up, been messing up, and a lot of them still messing up, and they got to get their act together. Same thing with Southern Kingdom. There's a lot of racist Southern Kingdom. They got to get their act together and ask for forgiveness from Southern. A lot of Northern Kingdom got to get their act together and ask for forgiveness from the Southern Kingdom. Say, look, yes, we treated y'all like this. We was racist towards y'all. We called y'all lazy. We called y'all this. We treated y'all like that. In our Hispanic business, we didn't want to hire you because you was black. Yes, they did do this. So with that being said, they have to be held accountable. I don't blame the brothers and sisters for how they feel. But even with how you feel, if you feel like you don't want to stand with the Hispanics, obviously you don't know that this is your people. You don't know that this your people. Because even though they're flawed, they're still my people. That's still our people. And a lot of Israelites don't believe that Northern Kingdom are Israelites because of their skin tone.
Shrinky hair.
Straight hair, skin tone?
What they were saying, I talked to a brother about it today. He was saying that those are not our people because he's saying they got hair like white people.
How many Israelites, how many Judahites got hair like white people?
Yeah, I'm trying to tell you.
How many Judahites look like they white?
Yeah.
Just like, look, in Northern Kingdom, put like this, in the Mexicans, you can find Mexicans of all different shades.
Mm-hmm.
What'd that tell you? That they was black before. You don't find all different shades of white folks. See what I'm saying? Right? In Puerto Ricans, you find all different shades. All the Hispanics, you find all different shades because they was black at one point in time. They was conquered by white folks. That's how they end up being the color that they are, because they was conquered by the Spaniards, by the Portuguese. That's why they speak Spanish. So for our people to say that they're not Israelites, it's crazy. Where they got them from? There was people of color before they was invaded by the white folks.
Fuck y'all one.
Go ahead, King.
Isn't it a future prophecy that the Most High will lift the grudge between us and the Northern Kingdom?
You talking about Judah shall not vex Ephraim.
That's what I'm talking about. That's it right there. Vex, yeah, and he gonna lift it, so we all know that we brothers and sisters.
Isaiah 11:13. Isaiah 11:13. Yeah.
Okay, I got it. The book of Isaiah, chapter 11, verse 13. The envy also of Ephraim shall depart, and the adversaries of Judah shall be cut off. Ephraim shall not envy Judah, and Judah shall not vex Ephraim.
Right.
Yeah, that's the one I was talking about.
Now, with this envy, it says the envy also of Ephraim shall depart. Ephraim is collectively the northern kingdom. That's all 10 tribes in the northern kingdom. So it says the envy of Ephraim shall depart, right? And the adversaries of Judah shall be cut off. Ephraim shall not envy Judah, and Judah shall not vex Ephraim. Why is it saying Ephraim shall not envy Judah? Because when go to Hosea 4:17. This is why Ephraim was envying Judah. Hosea 4:17. Yeah. Let me know when you get there.
I got it.
All right, bring it out.
The book of Hosea, chapter 4, verse 17.
Mm-hmm.
Ephraim is joined to idols. Let him alone.
The Most High told us to leave Ephraim alone. He told us to leave the northern kingdom alone. So they had envy towards us. He told us leave them alone. So it says, the envy also of Ephraim shall depart, and the adversaries of Judah shall be cut off. Ephraim shall not envy Judah, and Judah shall not vex Ephraim. We was vexing them because we was calling them Gentiles and heathens, because they were serving other gods. You see what I'm saying? We was vexing them because we're like, y'all not Israelites no more. Y'all heathens. Y'all not one of us no more. And that's how our brothers and sisters are acting right now, by saying that they not Israelites. We still got that amongst us. We saying they're not Israel because of how they look. My mama is high yellow. My mama is high yellow. You know what I'm saying? Her daddy got green eyes and all that type of stuff. Light brown, green eyes. You know what I'm saying? Listen, our people got to get over that. But at the end of the day, the point is that it's a lot going on. It's time to wake up. It's time for Northern Kingdom to wake up to the fact that they have been racist towards Southern Kingdom, and they got to fix that. Now, Northern Kingdom that's in the truth, that I'm not talking to them. I'm talking about the Northern Kingdom that has yet to repent. Because there's a lot of Northern Kingdom that's in the truth right now. That's not held against them. They've repented. They live by God's law, statutes, and commandments. But the Northern Kingdom that hasn't, they have to hold themselves accountable. You know what I'm saying? Even the Northern Kingdom that's in the truth, if that is brought up, they should be able to acknowledge that and say, yeah, there's a lot of us that do that like that. And just like there's a lot of Judah that treats Northern Kingdom a certain type of way. There's just like a lot of Southern Kingdom that treat Northern Kingdom a certain type of way. You know what I'm saying? Same thing. We have to be able to hold ourselves accountable. But this was going on. It's time to wake up and smell the coffee, man. Time for people to wake up and, you know what I'm saying, come together as people. Go to Isaiah 52:8, King. And I'm going to use Isaiah chapter 52, verse 8.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 52, verse 8. Thy watchmen shall lift up the voice. With the voice together shall they sing. For they shall see eye to eye, when the Lord shall bring again Zion. All praises.
We're going to see eye to eye when the Lord bring again Zion. We're going to come together unified. But we in the land of our captivity. Hell has to happen. This is hell we in right now. This stuff has to take place. We just stay girded up, stay in the spirit, and don't let this stuff sidetrack you to where you lose your faith. Because once your faith is gone, once you lose your faith, you might as well cancel it.
Hang it up.
I'm trying to tell you. But with that being said, we're going to give all glory, honor, and praise to the Most High Yahweh, Bahashem, Hamashiach, Yahweh Shai. We want to thank him for another one. Hey, and look, catch us next week, same time, same place. You got anything, King?
Live.
All right, we're going to say shalom.
Shalom.